Hello, Gilmer Buckeye Nation, and welcome to the Gilmer Buckeyes Coaches Show. I'm Jeff Rice, your host, and I'm joined today by the head coach of the Gilmer Footballs and athletic director, Mr. Alan Metzel. Alan, good to see you today.
Good to be here.
We're going to talk a little football today, folks. We're going to dive right into it and get to business. We're going to talk about and analyze the Gladewater game from this past week, and then we're going to talk about the Henderson game coming forward. Before we jump right into the football, I do want to point out to you that we do have several ways for you to watch the game live. We've added a couple of additional ones that may be more convenient for you. I want to thank Eric Conitz for handling that for us. First of all, you can watch it on eText, Channel 1 or Channel 601. Secondly, you can go to GilmerBuckeyes.com and you can watch it on your tablet, on your computer, on your phone. You can download the Vimeo app on your smart TV or your Roku device or Fire Stick, whatever you happen to have, and you can search there and find it. And now we're also going to be streaming the game live on Facebook and live to YouTube. And so that's going to be probably one of the better ways, actually, especially if you want to watch it on your television. You can, one of the things that you can go to the YouTube, download the YouTube app if you don't already have it on your smart TV or Fire Stick or whatever, and you can go and look for Gilmer Buckeyes, and you can search it out that way. Probably a better way that Eric has suggested for us is if you will go to the link. We're going to post the link to that channel on the GilmerBuckeyes.com site. So if you go watch the game and you go to the player, right underneath there's going to be a Facebook link and a YouTube link. If you will click that link and go to open up YouTube on your phone, then click subscribe, then go to your smart TV and download your YouTube app, or you probably already have it. If you have a smart app, it's pretty common. Then your subscribed channels will be on your TV. So there's the best ways that you can do it. But you can do Facebook, you can do YouTube, Vimeo, GilmerBuckeyes.com, or Channel 1 or 601 on eText. So you've got 5 different ways that you can watch the game, and so hopefully one of those work for you. So now let's get into the football game. We played Gladewater this last week.
Yes, sir.
And the series still belongs to the Gilmer Buckeyes.
That's just how we want it.
That's exactly how we want it. So that makes, I think we had 15 straight wins going all the way back to 2001.
Correct.
And now we're going to add number 16 to that. Right. For any of our friends in Gladewater, I want to repeat that. That's 16 straight wins for the Gilmer Buckeyes. That wasn't very Christian, was it?
Hey, it's okay.
I apologize. I'll pray it through on Sunday. So now let's talk about the game a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Let's start with the positives. What did you see, Coach, that you really, it's early in the season, first game. What did you see you liked?
Stand out, right off the bat is I love that we had a little adversity right there at the first. We fumble on our first drive. They score right off the bat.
Yeah.
Didn't phase us. Our guys, our leadership on the team, everybody just said, hey, we're good to go. Play the next play, and we did. Got the momentum right back, went down and scored, and had it rolling from that point forward. We're able to put a good bit of points up, and so that really stood out to me. And then also just the way our defense swarmed to the ball. I like seeing that.
Yeah, I thought they did good. I thought the defensive line especially, a lot of penetration all night long.
They got off the ball really well.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that and even show a couple of video highlights of that here in a few minutes. What did you see that you didn't like? What did we need to improve on in that first week?
We jumped off sides 6 times, on defense.
It's the first time I've ever seen that.
Yeah, it was. You had a handful of guys. It was their first varsity game.
Yeah.
The whole mantra from the defensive side was stop that fullback, get off the ball, and we just were a little too antsy in that department. So we got to get that fixed.
Yeah, the offensive line. I don't believe they had one penalty on. Did they have a
well?
illegal
There
procedure?
was no illegal procedures. We had a penalty downfield blocking on the screen that we would argue was a penalty.
Yeah,
we didn't feel like it was. So,
sure.
but aside from that, our guys played pretty clean on our side of the ball. The other thing I would say is some of our special teams, we lost some lane integrity a time or two. Obviously, on the kickoff return, we got to tighten that up.
Yeah. Okay, so those are just kind of normal things that happen in
first game for sure.
I think at halftime I looked at the stats and we were like at 8 penalties and 70 yards or something like that. Still had, I believe their total offensive yards in the first half was like 129 up to our 388 or something like that. So it was a real one-sided game. Obviously had some real standout players in the game. Brandon Tennyson.
Brandon just stepped in and took over. You can see the athleticism he has. He's He's a very gifted athlete. He can run. He threw the ball extremely well.
Yeah.
Just stepped into the leadership spot and did an awesome job. And then you see Mason Hurt, who has started for 2 years, and we come into this season, we feel like this move is going to make us better. He's like, Coach, whatever I got to do to make the team
he's
better.
that kind of kid.
It's amazing.
Yeah, he's that
amazing.
Kind of
that selfless, and then he goes out and catches
and
6
like
passes.
Looked like a D1
yards.
receiver.
He did.
I mean, you're talking about moving a kid from quarterback into receiver slot, and they can play interchangeably.
Yes.
And I'm sure we'll see it that way maybe some
happen.
throughout the year.
It could happen.
Depending on what we're looking for, right? Because both those guys are great receivers and quarterbacks
absolutely.
as well.
They're both great athletes.
So that's a great segue. Let's look at a couple of pieces of film here.
Okay.
This first one that we're going to look at, we're going to set up here. I think this is right after you'd been downfield.
After they scored.
They scored.
Right.
We fumbled, they scored.
That's right. Next drive.
And then the very next drive, we come out and we throw a long one right off the bat to Mason. So set this up for us.
You bet. Here we are. We're trying to recapture the momentum. We know, that we've got to flip it on them. And so this is something that we have worked on all week long. We felt like we could get Mason on their cornerback and go over the top. You'll see him lean inside, get the guy leaning. He goes right by him. Brandon throws a great throw, puts it on him, 38 yards. And now, you've got your juices going again.
Yeah.
You're ready to go.
Yeah, that kind of shifted that momentum right
Absolutely.
back.
Absolutely.
And so this is the play right before that. We probably should have showed this one first, really, but this is the play. This is like the third play of the game.
Correct.
They get the fumble.
Right.
They're down there deep on our side of the field, so we're thinking, okay, let's pin them. Stop.
Right.
Let's pin them and get the ball back. Right.
Exactly.
But the number 2.
He's an athlete.
DJ Allen. He's a D1 athlete.
Right.
He runs like a 10-8. 100 meter,
right?
And that was as a freshman, I understand. So the guy is a speedster. If you don't box him, you've got problems, right? And so this is the third play here where he scores. Why don't you set up and tell us what happened here?
I went ahead and put this on. This isn't a highlight for us. It is for DJ. But just sometimes it's important to see, okay, what happened and how did things break down. You're going to see as we start the play out, we know he's a talented player, and we actually have him double covered. We have a guy under him, a guy over him. And so schematically, we feel like we're in good shape.
Yeah.
We lost our leverage, and you're going to see right there, our safety's there to make the tackle and overruns it a little bit. Once he gets in the open, you're not going to catch him.
Yeah, once he's behind you, that's it. It's
very
over.
Talented. So those are some of the things that we've got to improve, like you talked about a minute ago. Angles, making sure we're in a little bit better positioning.
Yeah. So let's come back now to the one of my favorite plays of the game. Actually, maybe my very favorite play of the game, if not one or two.
Sure.
And this is where you're utilizing those two quarterbacks that you got. Two guys that can sling the ball, catch the ball, and we demonstrate that here with a double pass.
Right.
So tell us about what you're thinking here, and why'd you pull it at this point in the game?
We felt like it was the right yard line to run this particular play. We felt like we'd crossed the 50. We want to be aggressive again. They're playing a really high safety. Sometimes if they're low, you can go over them. Sometimes if they're really high, you can go under them. And this guy is playing pretty high over here on the hash. And so we felt like with Mason being able to have a feel, he can put the ball on somebody. And you see here, Brandon takes the snap, throws it out. Mason's got pressure right in his face.
Yeah.
Throws the ball.
He took a shot.
He took a shot right in the chest, hits Cody on the flag route right there, and we get another 30-yard play. And gets us down inside the 10 area, and we end up scoring.
Okay, so this is another Gilmer touchdown right here. This is Spraglin, who's one of our
fastest guys.
One of your fastest guys on the field. When he gets the ball, he's downfield. So let's walk us through this one.
You bet. Right here, we feel like we can get Spraglin over the top of their safety. Brandon is going to read this. He has several progressions. He can look high if the safety stays low. If the safety turns and gets deep, he'll check down to his intermediate route or even into the flat. Well, after he gets the snap, he's seeing the safety. We've got him circled right there. The safety's shoulders stay flat. Brandon goes over the top. And of course, Marche's speed takes over. Brandon drops it right on him, and you're into the end zone.
Yeah,
big play.
All the way, big play. And he's in the end zone 10 yards ahead of the defenders behind him.
Right.
So that was just executed just as perfect as you do. That's what you do in practice every day, right? That's how it looked like on the chalkboard.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
You rarely get to see those things come to fruition, but when they do, man, they're fantastic.
It is.
So I thought this was a great play, and this is a young player. This is an up and coming star, I think. He's great football head. This is Rowan Fluellen's just got a feel for football.
He does.
And he is a sophomore this year, but this is a little screen pass to Rowan. So
Yes.
set that one up for us.
You've got their D-line's really trying to get off the ball and penetrate. They're rushing upfield. Obviously, screening a team like that is something you want to do. And so we pass set. The D-line gets up the field. The linemen are getting downfield into their lanes. Rowan just had, like you said, he has a great feel and catches that wave of linemen and gets into the end zone.
Yeah, turns it back to the right there. That was a great job there by. He had a good defensive pop too. He flipped the guy.
He did.
So he played well, I thought, on both sides of the ball for such a young man.
Exactly.
So looking forward to good things from him. This next one I thought was really cool because it shows the aggressiveness. They're going to fumble the ball on the 3-point attempt. Mm-hmm. Look how fast the Buckeyes swarm around it.
And again, that's why I put this in here. We made a stand, put them in a position where they've got to kick a field goal. Many times you see teams relax and just let them kick and kind of hope that they miss. Our guys are going, and they get off the ball. When the snap goes through the guy's hands, we've got white jerseys all over the place, and you see at the finish of the play, you've got almost the whole defensive team right there around that ball.
Yeah, and tell them what you explain to the fans what you explain to the defense about their proximity to the ball.
Our guys, we measure their worth. It's a quote we say, we measure your worth by the proximity to the ball when the whistle blows. So are you standing 15 yards away or are you right there at the ball? It's a way to measure their hustle.
Yeah.
And you can see it on that play.
Right, you don't want somebody watching the play from way back there and go get in it, right?
That's right.
You never know where the ball's going to go.
No.
Never know how the ball bounces. Mm-hmm. So this next one was a great defensive play. This was Cody's pick six that got called back.
Correct.
But it was just a great heads-up defensive play.
Yes, and this is Cody Guidry. We get Gladewater in a position where they're behind the chain, so to speak, 3rd and long. Their offense, they don't prefer that scenario. We're able to play high safeties in this case. Cody's one of those guys. He does a great job of getting his eyes on the quarterback. He's working out off the hash. We've got him circled right there. You're going to see him working for width. He sees the throw, makes the play.
That's perfect. Boy, he just broke to that
right
ball
there
perfectly.
And takes it down. And you see our guys getting down the sideline, blocking, leading the way, trying to get him in the end zone. There was a call where they said somebody pushed somebody in the back, and it moved it back. We ended up scoring on the drive later.
Yeah, Cody's coach is going to be Bowman, right?
Coach Bowman, Coach Britton both worked the safeties and the corners, you bet.
So, young, former Gilmer Buckeye, played the same position.
That's right.
And so,
he's bringing him up.
It was textbook.
Yes.
Right? That's the way it's supposed to look. So that was awesome. This next one is another Buckeye score. This was this time it was Tennyson scrambling.
Exactly. We've got a play here. We're looking to get Mason in the middle of the defense. They've got an opening back there with their wide safeties, and I circled their linebacker did a great job walling him and taking him high. So Brandon, at this point, now it's on him to find something, and he does, and that's where his athleticism takes over. He makes about 4 or 5 guys miss and gets into the end zone.
Yeah, you've got all your receivers kind of going deep on that one, so they carried all the safeties with him. So now all he has to do is beat an outside linebacker. Right. And he does without a problem, and he's good.
Exactly.
This next one, we got 2 more to look at real quick. This was another Buckeye touchdown. This time it was Griffin.
Okay, right here we're looking at Gladewater's secondary. They've been playing with 2 high safeties, and we were going to try and get Jaden Griffin into the middle. Well, we come out. They now have a middle safety, so you can see where I've got the number 2. That's their middle safety. They're playing a cover 3. Well, Jaden recognizes that, turns and signals to Brandon, communicates to him how he's going to adjust the route. Brandon nods back at him, and they complete the play. Excellent job on their part of recognizing the defense, being able to make the adjustment, touchdown. That's an example of having a senior receiver who knows what's going on.
They're actually reading the defense, and they're signaling at each other.
Absolutely.
So they're actually like, is this an eye signal, or is it?
Well, there was a little hand signal, but I don't want to say what it was.
We're not going to throw that away. Yeah.
So, but that was pretty impressive on their part to be on top of that.
Great job, like you said, by the senior.
Absolutely.
This last play is just an aggressive defensive play by Uceda.
Yes, Omar Uceda had a tremendous defensive game. You see him here in the middle. He's our middle linebacker. You're going to see him come through the line on a stunt, take out the running back, hit the quarterback, get a big sack. Again, you see the aggressiveness that we're trying to establish on defense.
Yeah, and obviously for the first game, I thought it was you had that.
Yes.
There was a lot of momentum defensively. I thought one of the biggest keys to the game, and there were several, but I thought the biggest key to the game was we never allowed their quarterback to get the ball off. Right. He could sling a football.
Right. He can throw it.
He can throw it downfield. He demonstrated that, but we were in his face all night long. So he just didn't have much opportunity. No. I noticed you were blitzing some.
Oh, yeah.
And really coming at him.
There's two ways to cover, and one is to put multiple people on a guy, and the other is to go hit the quarterback, and we kind of like that one the best.
Yeah. Well, it worked out for you pretty good.
Sir.
So that was a great game. Congratulations. You probably are from a percentage point, you're probably the top coach in the state of Texas right now. You're 100% winning. So
at the moment.
Let's keep that going.
That's right.
So got your first win in the books, and now we're going to Henderson. So let's talk about that. What are we looking at from Henderson this week? Are they any good? What kind of sets do they run? Tell us what we're looking for.
Henderson's 1-0. They defeated Liberty Ilo the other night. Henderson has a great history. They have they have a good culture in their system. Phil Castles has been there 4 or 5 years and does a great job. He's a defensive coach, and so you always expect their defenses to be really tough to play. They give you a lot of looks. They're 3-4, 4-3, 5-1. They're blitzing from everywhere. They've got number 15. He'll play outside linebacker. They'll bring a corner off a blitz and play him at corner. He plays safety. So in order to be able to handle all that, you've got to do a good job mentally in preparation. And so we've really hammered that this week on recognizing what they're in so that we can take advantage of what they're doing. Their nose guards really stands out. Number 99, I believe it's Devin Fields. Big guy, gets a lot of penetration. So we're going to have to put bodies on him. Yeah. He's a wrecker. He'll mess up your plays.
Yeah.
So he's tough on defense. Offensively, they run the spread like we do. They run a lot of our sets. Quarterback's taken over. This is his first year to start. He's a big guy. I'd say 6'2", 6'3", probably 200 plus. He's a big fella with a good arm. Really strong at the running back position. Got 3 guys, number 3, 6, and 8. Those guys can really go. So you got to keep them bottled up. And then they've got some good looking receivers out there that, so I would say they're very balanced. They can run, they can throw outside. They can throw
number
inside.
15 plays offensively and defensively.
He's their inside receiver, and he's that guy that moves all around on defense.
Got good hands.
He does.
Just a good athlete. He's their top guy. Right?
He is. I would say so.
So we're gonna have to stay on top of him.
Correct. Yeah. So they're a good team. We're gonna have to play well.
Yeah. So what's your score prediction again?
0-0 to start, and then we'll go from there.
And then we'll see what happens from there.
There you go.
One of these days, I'm going to get one out of you. I'm going to be maybe taping it secretly.
Yeah, you might have to have it in your phone, in your pocket.
Yeah, that's right. So we got Gladewater down. Congratulations. We got Henderson coming up tomorrow night. We're going to try to post these game shows. We had a technical glitch on this one. We actually filmed it last Sunday, but it didn't work out. So we're going to try to have these posted by every Monday morning. Actually, late Sunday night if you're up late, because Eric always goes home and does it late. And so we apologize for not having this one out until later in the week. But we're excited about this season, Coach. Great job in Gladewater. We're excited about the boys. Love what we saw. It was a lot of fun to call that game, and the fans loved it. And I've heard a lot of good feedback from the job that Eric Connens and that whole team has done.
Video,
amazing. I mean, they're the heroes of Gilmer this year because they're bringing football to the fans. So we're really proud of them. Thanks to all of our sponsors, especially Godarzi and Young for sponsoring the season. Those guys have stepped up in a big way, and E-Tex has stepped up and helped us and all of our other sponsors. So if you're watching commercials during the game and you see the sponsors, go give your business to those people because they care about the school district. They support everything, not just football.
Right.
They support everything.
The whole school.
It's the same people constantly over and over that step up. So make sure you thank those folks. And so on behalf of Alan Metzel and myself, we appreciate you watching the Coaches Show today. And we will see you Friday night, either on the field or live on television.